Shōri no Daishō. The curtain call, 2 conditions are required. 3 acts performed. The stage had held each one. The loyalty of Chūshingura burned into the boards, the blue-white tendrils of Aoi no Yue still dissipating in the air. The Mousetrap's reflected geometry etched in the crack pattern of the leader's armor. The stage remembered. That was condition 1. Ren turned his gaze toward the empty seats. Row after row of overturned benches, scattered programs, the small debris of a crowd that had fled in a hurry. He looked at an empty chair in the 3rd row, the chair where, earlier that evening, a merchant had been sitting with his child on his knee, the child leaning forward with wide eyes at the ghost play, and he bowed. Not the performance bow, not the stagecraft bow with its calculated angle and time duration. The real one. Head down, weight forward, the bow you make when you mean it, and there is no audience to see it, and you make it anyway. Because the theater deserves it whether or not anyone is watching. That was condition 2. The stage boards lit up beneath the yokai leader's feet. Every calligraphic mark from every act blazing simultaneously, the text of Chūshingura and Aoi no Yue and the Mousetrap all burning at once, all of it converging on the single figure kneeling at their center. The curtain above the stage began to descend. Not the physical curtain, which had been destroyed in the fight, but the theatrical one. The one that existed in the architecture of the act, the one that always falls at the end of the final scene, whether anyone pulls the rope or not. "Welcome to the curtain call," Ren said quietly to the kneeling figure below him. He paused. He had always believed that the line before the final act deserved a pause. The audience needed a breath before the curtain fell. "You cannot break an actor," he said. "We have already rehearsed every version of falling apart." He lowered the Hanya mask 1 degree. The curtain went down. The yokai leader was frozen, held in the paralysis of the Shōri no Daishō's stun, body locked in the position it had occupied when the final act descended on him. 1 knee on the stage boards, 1 hand raised mid-charge, head angled upward at the figure 2 steps away. He became aware, in the last moment available to him, of 2 things in rapid sequence. First, the calligraphy burning beneath his body was not decorative. It was a sentence. He could read it now, in the amber light of the boards, the final character of the 47 Ronin's coda, the one the play always ends on, the one that means consequence without appeal. Second, the curtain falling above him was also real, also a sentence, also final. The Shōri no Daishō did not use a blade. It used the oldest theatrical tradition of all, the cut that happens between scenes, the one the audience never sees directly, but understands completely from what the stage holds in the moment after. 1 frame. He was kneeling. The next frame. The stage held his kneeling body, and his head had a few seconds head start on the news. He saw his own body from above, kneeling, still, already in the past tense, for the first and last moment of his life in which he could see himself clearly. Then he couldn't see anything. The theater went quiet. The lanterns burned on, as lanterns do, indifferent to what the stage holds. He was once again standing in the ruins of the Hanaza Theater, with 12 fallen yokai and 1 warm, carved rabbit in his pocket, exactly as the episode had begun. Aratake stepped out of the wings approximately 30 seconds after the last body settled. He walked across the destroyed stage with the calm efficiency of someone whose job it was to keep moving regardless of what the stage looked like. He stepped over or around the fallen yokai without looking at them. Not out of callousness, Ren knew, but because Aratake had decided, somewhere in the wings, that looking at them was not currently useful, and would be done later, privately, at the correct time for it. He stopped beside Ren. They stood together for a while. The lanterns overhead swung gently in whatever draft moved through a theater after a battle. The carved rabbit had been set out again on its small circle of amber light. Ren had placed it there without deciding to, the way you place things when your hands know what to do before your mind gets involved. "We're going to need a new theater," Aratake said finally. Aratake did not ask him anything. He had always been very good at not asking things at the wrong time. It was, Ren thought, one of the most generous things about him, the ability to be completely present without requiring anything of the person he was present with. He put the rabbit back in his pocket. Every soul that walks through my curtain becomes a story, but I decide if they get a happy ending. Ren, not all of them do.